Hey everyone, firstly this video isn't a fake news theory or anything meant to stir panic about the coronavirus or the current lockdown. It's just that this morning, and I apologize, I haven't even had a chance to shave yet, I woke up and read a couple of articles and watched a video that have really changed my thinking about the world and South Africa in particular as we battle this awful pandemic. There'll be some links to these articles and videos in the comments field below. The first article I read was published on the My Broadband site this morning, and I think it's something we've all been thinking about, but just to see it in writing, it suggests the lockdown may be extended by several weeks or even months. And based on global experience, total lockdown does appear to be the most effective way of slowing down the spread of the virus. But these extensions have continued to happen, so we can assume that it's going to be the same here in South Africa. The second article was really a link to the Dear South Africa site, where members of the public are being invited to make representations to the government as to whether changes to the lockdown regulations should be made. And I guess the idea is to come up with a compromise of sorts, which may see portions of the population being able to return to work to avoid a total collapse of the economy, which, as you can imagine, would bring with it a whole range of other problems, which might be just as difficult to deal with as the virus. The video I watched comes out of the Czech Republic and really drives home the message that they've managed to stem the corona tide by, amongst other things, by making the wearing of face masks compulsory. So please check that video out. But back to what it means here in South Africa. Whilst we can't confirm that the lockdown will be extended yet, the trend in other countries is a pretty good indication that we'll be facing more time at home. And we're geared up for that already in most of the financial services sector where I work, where it is possible to work from home. But I really believe we need to shift our focus as to what needs to come next when the wheels of the economy have to start turning again, regardless of where we are in the fight against the virus. We can't stay at home indefinitely, or our people will struggle to feed their families. And let's face it, our economy wasn't in great shape before this happened. So I'm just saying perhaps we need to expand our thinking to planning for people getting back outside again. And some of the ideas that have been shared on various social media platforms suggest that high-risk individuals may have to continue to stay at home until a vaccine is developed. But in the meantime, the rest of us who might be relatively healthy would have to return to normal life. And I believe it's our duty to envision what that looks like. We need to be prepared. So perhaps we should already start thinking about this. And these are just some of the things that I suggest. In each business, one would need to decide who's in the high-risk category and should potentially stay at home. And if those individuals can't work from home, then how do we take care of them financially? Then secondly, what measures do we put in place for the people that are able to go back to work? And some of the ideas that we could look at, as per the Czech video clip, face masks. These would need to be worn at the office and on public transport when going to the shops, etc. Turning off air conditioning in office buildings to avoid circulation of contaminated air. Having employees working in shifts to minimize group sizes and, of course, maximize the space between workstations. So kind of a blend between the lockdown and going back to work. Weekly deep cleaning of all office workspaces. And then, of course, businesses that have already mastered the work from home in totality would be encouraged to continue to do so. Restaurants, etc., could reduce table numbers and seatings to maintain social distancing. Of course, eating with a mask on is not that easy to do. And then corporates and businesses who are in a position to do so should really look for ways of sponsoring the supply of sanitizer and masks at taxi ranks, bus stations, and other high foot traffic areas. And remember that the brands that help to find solutions to this problem will ultimately benefit in a post-COVID era. We love the companies that love us back. So my thinking is that we have control over all of these things. Of course, that assumes that the government changes the absolute lockdown. But we don't have control over the supply of masks. Those are really difficult to come by. Just before the crisis, I ordered 500 N95 masks from the USA on Amazon just to test the supply process. And I can tell you now it's unlikely they'll arrive until way after the lockdown ends. And we also don't want to deplete medical supplies unnecessarily, exposing doctors and nurses. But if you watch that check video, it suggested that even a homemade mask is better than nothing. And this could really be a useful first go at this. Let's call it a stay-at-home project for everyone to start in anticipation of getting some of our liberties back again soon. So please share your ideas here and with your colleagues, and yeah, good luck to us all, and get making those masks.